Emilia, this is sudden, but don't be surprised. I've decided to take your husband. He's even said he'd be happier with me. So whatever you say from here on out is pointless. Excuse me? So, can you break up with him soon? We're planning to deepen our bond from now on. Sorry, but I've already made my decision, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't interfere. Actually, I haven't told you, Emilia, but we've met multiple times, and we know it's the best choice for both of us. It's natural you wouldn't know, but you should be grateful I'm telling you the truth. Ivy? Honestly, don't you think I'm a better match for him than you? I'm confident I can cherish him more, so just give up. Well, I think this turn of events is fate. You'll eventually realize why he chose me, Emilia. Wait a minute, Ivy. What are you talking about? I really don't understand. And if this is a joke, please stop. Does it sound like a joke? I'm being serious. Honestly, I think you're not worthy of him right now. Are you serious? We're married, you know. It's crazy for you to try to take him away. That's just your own interpretation. I'm just making the choice that will make me happy. I'm not going to sacrifice my life for you anymore. Do you even realize what you're saying? We're family, so I really don't understand why you're acting this way. Because we're family? My own happiness is the most important thing, so your feelings come second. Plus, he said I understand him better. And honestly, being with you might be unhappy for him. I don't get it, though. Ivy, what's going on? When I say I don't understand, I mean it literally. You're saying such ridiculous things that he's probably getting bored with you, right? It's only natural he'd want a more fun life, don't you think? We're planning to start fresh together, so that's how it is. I really don't get it. Even if you speak selfishly, I can't understand what you're saying. You're so self-centered that I'm at a loss for words. Self-centered? No way! You're the one who was holding him back. With me, he can be freer and get back to his true self. That's his happiness, so just leave him alone. So, what are you going to do, Ivy? Don't ask such silly questions. It's what we decided, and you have no say in it. If you just back off quietly, we wouldn't have to deal with all this hassle. It's been a while. You didn't forget about me, did you? I'm your favorite sister. Hope you've been doing well. I thought you might have lost your spark after I took your husband. But don't worry. I have good news, so keep chatting on WhatsApp. Hello and goodbye. Wait! I said I have good news. Listen. I'm marrying a rich boyfriend, so I'll return your ex-husband to you. He said he'd be happy to remarry you, so accept it with joy. What did you just say? I wonder what misunderstanding is happening now. Huh? What misunderstanding? Where in that was there a misunderstanding? I'm just saying I don't need your ex-husband anymore, so I'm giving him back. Ex-husband, you say? I'm not even divorced. What? Since we got married 4 years ago, we haven't had any major fights, and our relationship is great. In fact, as the years go by, our understanding of each other has deepened, and I'd say our married life is absolutely harmonious. Thanks to that, we've been blessed with a 2-year-old child, and every day is filled with happiness. What you're saying, Ivy, seems to be far from reality. Are you okay? Huh? You should calm down. Isn't it you who's completely misunderstanding things? Because your ex-husband and I definitely became close, and even eloped in the end. It's about time you realize you were divorced without even knowing it. Plus, we've been living together for the past 3 years and have loved each other like never before. How can you say that's a misunderstanding? Well, yes. The fact that you have someone you've been living with isn't probably wrong. I'll admit that. See? So I told you, right? I was right after all. No, you listen carefully. The person you've been living with and loving isn't actually my husband. In other words, that man isn't my ex-husband, but someone else. You're just the one who's misunderstanding things. What? Thinking back to 3 years ago, that day was truly full of mysteries. Do you remember when you suddenly sent that outrageous message saying, "I'm taking your husband," and then went missing? Both my husband and I were shocked, but we didn't have time to worry about such a nonsensical message. That's because we were on a trip to the beach together, and we were strolling hand in hand through the beach town at that moment. When I received that message, I was relaxing, and your words seemed so outlandish that I thought it was just a joke. However, we continued our married life without any issues, and I've often wondered what that text was all about. Anyway, we're still living happily together and our relationship is perfectly fine. So the person you think that was my husband is, unfortunately, a completely different person. What are you talking about? You never mentioned that. Well then, you could have told me something so important right away, couldn't you? The fact that you kept quiet about it means you're the one hiding the fact that you lost your husband. And you must be holding back your feelings of regret and lying, right? Aren't you just upset that he was taken from you? Wait a minute. Weren't you blocking me until just now? I tried sending a message to correct that, but it didn't even get read. What? Yeah, I sent you messages multiple times, but none of them were read. So I figured I must have been blocked. But I never imagined you would think I was lying while holding on to such misunderstandings. Huh? No way. Seriously? Hey, is it a good time to chat on WhatsApp? I'd like to continue our conversation from before. I just can't wrap my head around it. Hey there, what do you want? Did something big happen for you to contact me out of the blue? Or is this about your good news again? Actually, I tried reaching out to my ex to talk, but it seems I'm blocked. I was wondering why he'd go silent at a time like this. I see. So when you tried to confirm the truth directly with him, he's completely cut ties and isn't telling you anything. Well, that's how it is. Jesus. Got it. To be honest, it's quite a hassle. But if I leave your misunderstanding unaddressed, you'll probably reach out again. And I need to correct this properly or we won't move forward. My husband is right next to me, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. He'll answer everything he can. So you're saying that the guy I eloped with and lived with isn't your ex-husband? You're not joking about this, right? I can't believe it. Like I said yesterday, I've never been divorced, so there's no such thing as an ex-husband for me. Therefore, the guy you were with is, in fact, a different person from my husband. What the hell is that? I don't get it. My head is spinning. Okay, let's start by checking something simpler and clearer. Huh? Should we verify if everything you think is true really adds up? Verify? What do you mean by that? First, let me confirm the premise of what you believe, Ivy. My husband's name is Jake. He and I live together and have no issues as a couple. But the guy you say you eloped with and lived with, if I ask for his name, I should recognize him immediately. So why not give it a try? It's funny how just one name can change the whole story. Huh? What are you talking about? It was Jack. Wait, is he a completely different person? No, but he looked just like your husband. I thought I had your husband and that's who I eloped with. But you're saying he's a totally different guy? Oh yeah, he's a different person. Actually, Jack is Jake's brother, So it's not like he's completely unrelated. Jake and Jack are twins, so they look just alike. I guess it makes sense you'd get confused. But when it gets this complicated, it's hard not to just laugh about it. What? Twins? Really? I had no idea about that. You should have told me something so important. Since they are identical twins, it's hard to tell them apart just by their faces. You might notice differences in their clothing or hairstyles, but honestly, if you're not used to it, they look just alike. I struggled to tell them apart at first, but their personalities are completely different, so I figured it out. Even though they look exactly the same, Jake is sincere and responsible, while Jack, well, you can kind of guess just by the fact that he was the one you were dating. But I didn't know that. I've never heard of them being twins before. I wouldn't have noticed their personality differences unless you told me. I thought he was just a nice guy, and since I'd heard the name Jake, I didn't think he was Jack. Actually, Jake himself doesn't have a great relationship with his brother and has tended to avoid bringing up the topic of twins. It seems Jack really disliked Jake, so he probably didn't mention how similar they are. He seemed to dislike the idea of having someone who looks just like him, so it wasn't a topic discussed much, even among family. I think he didn't share that with you either. Well, whatever. At this point, that story doesn't matter. And it's kind of disappointing to find out that the guy I thought I snagged from you was actually someone else. But hey, that's behind us now. I've already broken up with Jack, so it's not something to dwell on. Besides, I have a new boyfriend now and he's wealthy. I have a much happier life waiting for me, so this turned out to be good timing after all. I see. Is that so? Well, see ya! Hey, Amelia! Can you pick up the phone for a second? Amelia! I have something urgent to discuss! What's going on? Why am I being sued for damages? I don't get it. You better explain. Why are you contacting me? Isn't this something you can deal with on your own? I didn't expect to suddenly get hit with a damages lawsuit like this. And now that I know I didn't take your husband, there shouldn't be any reason for me to be sued for damages. How did this happen? From the looks of it, it seems the certified mail finally arrived, huh? So you're freaking out and contacting me about it. Wait a minute. You know something, don't you? You set this up for me, didn't you? You need to explain, Amelia. I'm not directly involved in any of this. I just heard a little bit about the situation. The fact that you tried to take my husband or whatever misunderstanding led to this is an important point in this matter. If you understand that, maybe you can calm down a bit. If you know the situation, then explain it properly. Why do I have to be sued for damages? You should be able to tell right away from the name of the person suing you on that document. If you have the papers, then take a good look at them first. Huh? What? The name? What do you mean? So based on your reaction, you assumed I set this up without checking and just contacted me, huh? If you had read it properly, you would have figured it out right away. Wait a minute. The name on this invoice? Wait. Leah? You mean our cousin? That Leah? Yeah. She's our cousin and the person suing for damages. That's her. No way! Why would she, who used to look up to me, be asking for compensation? I really can't understand the situation at all. What on earth could be the reason for her to sue me for damages? Still don't get it. If you read the contents of the document carefully, you should be able to piece it together right away. Well, fine. Since I'm here, I'll explain it to you. The guy you thought you took and eloped with, Jack, was actually Leah's ex-husband. No way! According to Leah, she's still within the period where she can sue for damages. It seems that after breaking up with you, Jack requested to reconcile with Leah, and that's what led to finding out where you are. Well, she firmly rejected the idea of reconciling, though. No way! I didn't know that Leah and Jack were married. You might not have known, but Jack, Jake, Leah, and I all went to the same university. Oh, really? It all started with my relationship with Jake. We met in college and initially were just friends. But as time went on, we naturally started to be attracted to each other and began dating. However, at first, it seemed Leah had a bit of an interest in Jake too, and she dropped a few comments in our friend group a couple of times. But after she learned about Jack, Leah became strongly attracted to him instead of Jake. And eventually, they started dating. Then, after graduating from college, we each ended up getting married. Leah to Jack and me to Jake, starting our new lives. Coincidentally, the rental apartments we chose for our new homes were in the same building, though on different floors. The Harbor Towers, right? Yes, the one in Building 2 of the Harbor Towers. We've moved now, but back then, Jake and I lived in room 205 on the second floor, while Leah and Jack lived in room 402 on the fourth floor. That's it! No doubt about it. So that's how it was. Huh? What do you mean? Do you have some sort of realization about this? Actually, I saw Jake in front of the station once, and I thought it was a chance to find out about your new place. So I followed him, and I ended up at room 402. That's why I was convinced that your husband was living there all along. I see. So you thought it was Jake, but it was actually Jack, huh? Since they look so much alike, it's not surprising you got confused. But if only you'd checked properly. Now that I think about it, I should have known your husband's name was Jake. Yet somehow, as I got involved with Jack, the story kept shifting conveniently in my mind. Well, that's what they call memory distortion, right? Ivy, you tend to think in ways that suit you. So even if you faintly realized he wasn't Jake, you probably just went along with it. If you don't become more self-aware, you might repeat the same mistakes in the future. But wasn't it actually the case? You really need to reflect on what needs reflecting. Fine, whatever. Anyway, my wealthy boyfriend will pay for any damages, so it's settled, right? Since I have him now, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Hey, Amelia, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Amelia, can you pick up the phone? I don't have any money. Hey, Amelia. Sorry, but even if you're in trouble because you don't have money, I'm not going to lend you any. I've turned you down a few times before when you ask for money, and you know that, right? Wait a minute. You haven't heard anything yet. I haven't even gotten to that part. So why are you jumping to conclusions? No. You just said you don't have any money. You can pretty much guess how this will go, right? I have a feeling you're going to ask for some sort of assistance. Damn! So you figured it out, huh? It's frustrating, but yeah, you're right. That's what I wanted to ask you. I knew it. Knowing you, I figured it would go that way. So I'm telling you no, I'm not lending you anything. Considering everything that's happened, it's only natural, right? Please, just a little. I need the money. Saying this hurts my pride, but I'm really in trouble. I'm telling you no. Besides, you bragged a little while ago that you had a wealthy boyfriend and didn't need to worry, right? Wasn't he supposed to take care of you? He dumped me. When I tried to rely on him in my time of need, he just mocked me and ultimately threw me away. He made it clear that he doesn't want to tie the knot with someone who's a homewrecker and plays the field. I never thought he'd say something so cold. So that means his family found out everything. In the end, the consequences of what you've done are coming back to haunt you. People from wealthy families are especially sensitive to those risks, so they probably did a thorough check using a private investigator. In such households, they're usually very strict with those who approach them with intentions of targeting their wealth, and they have significant wariness when it comes to potential marriage partners. Wait a minute! Now's not the moment for you to be all self-righteous and giving explanations. I'm the one in real trouble here. What am I supposed to do when I have no money? No one is helping me, and I'm really at a dead end. If you're really in trouble because you don't have money, then figure it out yourself. Instead of relying on others, you should think of ways to solve it with your own strength, right? By the time you contacted me after ignoring things, you must have had some sort of plan in mind. You didn't seriously think you could just live your life depending on others from the start, did you? You might think of me as your conveniently reliable little sister, but I'm done being treated like that. Wait, are you really not going to help me when I'm in trouble? Isn't it natural for family to support each other? I'm truly at my wit's end, and if I'm your sister, you should be reaching out a hand to me. I'm contacting you as a last resort because I have no one else to turn to, and it's just too cold to ignore that. Can you stop pretending to be family only when it suits you? You only act like family when you're in trouble, but you behave selfishly most of the time and flip the script when things go wrong. Isn't that the cycle? You approached Jack thinking you could take my husband, didn't you? Thanks to your misunderstanding, I was fortunate enough to escape that harm. But Leah is the one who has truly suffered and bears deep emotional scars. Why should I lend a hand to someone who acts so irresponsibly and only hurts others? When you say you need help, I have no intention of listening at all. Please don't say that. Just help me. Oh, by the way, if you're thinking of asking Dad and Mom for help, you should abandon that idea quickly. Huh? What do you mean? 3 years ago, during that whole affair, it caused a huge uproar that involved the entire family, and Dad and Mom were furious, completely disappointed with your actions. Leah's parents, our uncle and aunt, also ended up in a hostile situation because of it, resulting in terrible family relations. Now, it's just barely me and Leah keeping in touch, and that's something that's actually opposed by everyone else. Because of you, the whole family has suffered greatly, so you should be aware of that. No way! I had no idea it had come to that. In any case, everyone has been thrown into turmoil because of you, and the trust and bonds within the family have been ripped to shreds. That's why Dad and Mom are saying they don't want to think of you as their daughter anymore. They are planning to sever their parent-child relationship with you. In other words, disown you. They even said they didn't want you showing your face in front of us again. So I'm telling you this today, but it's a formal message from Dad and Mom, so keep that in mind. Seriously? I can't believe it's gotten to this point. Oh, and if you still have any naive thoughts left, thinking things will be okay if you return home, you should abandon that idea. Dad and Mom have already moved and now completely different people are living in our old house. So going back would be pointless. You can't rely on your old home anymore, and you can't turn to family anywhere you go. You've got to be kidding me! So what am I supposed to do now? Emilia, please help me! After that, my sister was abandoned by the boyfriend she met in Chicago and is now wandering around with debt and no place to live. No one is there to lend her a hand, and it seems the new boyfriend she relied on was actually connected to the underworld. After being taken to a sketchy place to work by that boyfriend, she tried to escape, but by then, There were only suspicious people around her. It seems that while saying she had no money, she approached yet another new man, but again was deceived, resulting in her debt piling up. Without being able to rely on family or friends and having lived only with her pride, she's now in a situation where no one is willing to extend a helping hand. She tried to return to her hometown, but by then, no one was willing to take her back. Uncle and aunt made it clear that they would absolutely not accept the one who caused such an uproar, and Leah stated she never wanted to get involved again. I don't know what Ivy's doing now. I am living a peaceful and quiet life with my husband. I intend to lead a stable life so that this time doesn't slip away.